Yeah, so. Flare up at the top is very, very nice and on it,
Okay.
for, staff there.
Okay. There's one family in
I would
particular that has
call-
one, that has said to me, if you hear anything about a chance of us figuring out how to cap this well on our property.
Yeah,
Please let us
definitely reach
know.
out about that.
Okay. I'll do
I
that.
would call their.
You wanna move
office.
into
I
the
wanna
public
drive
comment,
there,
that way
because
we
they're-
can jam out.
Yeah. Nick Knight's
Ben Kent knocks on my door sometimes.
oh, there
so
you go.
I'll answer next time we knock.
Yeah, there you go.
He calls me all the time. I'll return the call.
All right,
Everybody?
7 o'clock. If anyone else comes in here, I'll make a note, but yeah, it's 7, we have a quorum.
Okay. I'm gonna call this meeting of the Quaker Valley Council of Governments to order. It is now 7 o'clock on Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. So first order of business is a call to order.
Short thing, let's start the meeting, 7 o'clock. Let's do the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Roll call, Aleppo. Avalon. Bell Acres. Bellevue.
Here.
Ben Avon.
Here.
Edgeworth. Emsworth. Glen Osborne.
Here.
Glenfield. Hayesville.
Here.
Kilbuck. Here. Leet. Here. Leetsdale. Sewickley.
Here.
Sewickley Heights. That's 8, and that's a quorum.
Wonder, told to have a room for July meeting. Just say. Okay, we do next is public comment and guests. We do have a guest here from the office of our representative Valerie Gatos. Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Andrew Novak. I'm sure I've met a lot of you over my time at the representative's office. It's always nice to see everyone in person and on Zoom. And I hope you all are enjoying your summer so far. And it's good to see everyone. Always, as always, thanks for having us and thanks for welcoming the representative. I believe Patrick was saying earlier, we wanted to mention that the GDTF grants are opening up. That was August 19th, correct?
August 19th through the 30th.
There we go. So the representative wanted to relay that if you have projects that you are reapplying for, so maybe you didn't get some funds last year, but you are wanting to give another go at it, send in if you want a letter of support for that project, please send in a request for a letter of support as soon as possible. And that's for projects that you're reapplying for. The new ones, if you want a letter of support, letter of support always helps, they can't hurt. More than happy to take a look at your project, send over the application and the request, and we'll get that done as soon as possible on August 19th. So if it's new, August 19th. If it's an old project, just as soon as possible. If you need the email or anything for our district director who's working with the municipalities on that and everything, I can get you that. And as always, send it to Representative Gatos' email at the vgatos at pahouseGOP.com. And then just want to give a brief update on House Bill 589. There's a little bit of movement on that one. I believe there was a brief note about it in her newsletter. So it was recommitted to the Rules Committee on June 25th of this year. So that means as it is presented to the House, the Rules Committee will take a look at it. So that's the Speaker of the House, House leadership, and then the majority leadership, and then the minority leadership will take a look at that. Those three people will take a look at it and decide to bring it to the House for a vote or not. So that is where we made some, progress is progress.
Yes. Timeline.
in the reconciliation after the budget, we, do not have a timeline at this moment, unfortunately. So,
I must say that I think with our April rains and all the landslides we did have in this region.
right,
This is an area.
absolutely much overdue, and I understand that, Swickley Heights is dealing with some, still dealing with not Way Hollow, excuse me, backbone. Backbone is going, yes. So yeah, if you have any updates on that, feel free, because I know the state road below it, it sounds like they're on top of it, but of course, if you ever. Then coming up for the representative, she's having a teletown hall July 22nd at 7 p.m. You can dial into that. I have brought flyers for that. I'll also share with the COG as well. And along with the flyer, I will share our info flyer on House Bill 589 landslide legislation as well. So I also brought with me a grant and funding program directory. I brought one for each township. So if you are on Zoom and you want one sent to the borough building, I know I'll be in Swickley for mobile office hours tomorrow, so I'll bring a drop off for Glenn or wait, you are Glenn
I am Glenn.
I got you. I'll drop one off to Diana anyways,
Yeah,
and
please do.
I'll give one to Donna while I'm down at the borough building as well. But if there's anyone else online that would like a copy sent to them, you can always stop at the representative's office over on Beaver Grade Road. Or if you're going to be out of town or something, so I can mail it to you, no problem with that.
Would there be any opposition? I could scan this in to my digital file. If that, I don't know if you guys don't want me to do that, or if that helps you distribute this to everybody. I don't know.
I'm not sure at this point.
Okay,
I will,
just let me know.
I will ask. Yeah, so that, or we'll get a digital version out to you. So, and as always, letters of support. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. Okay. That's all from me.
Appreciate it very much. And
Thank you.
if it's anything like last year's cycle, we had like 20 applications through GDTF. So
Oh, that's amazing.
hopefully we can keep that momentum coming up. We have a nice little window, like they gave us some heads up. Now the application window itself is very, very limited. We'll go over it again one more time at the grant report. But those that didn't get funding, like Andrew said, and if your representative happens to be Valerie, that seems like something they're really going to try to focus on and getting those re-applications put in the hopper. So please, reach out to me if you do want to go after that again, and we'll start that process and open those channels of communication.
Absolutely.
Patrick, what's the amount they're looking for if you're going to find?
Well,
It had to be over a certain amount.
the minimum's $150,000. So that's the very minimum. I wouldn't say apply for like $2 million, but your application has to be at least 150. That doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get $150,000 in funding. As we
Right.
found out for one of our applications, we actually only got $20,000, which is better than zero, but we obviously had to reduce the scope of that project by quite a bit. It's a pretty flexible grant stream, as Andrew could probably attest to. It's definitely an imperfect science figuring out how it all works, but it tends to do a pretty good job if you get your funding. So
Exactly. And it's a good program too, that you can backwards engineer it where, okay, this is coming up, we can find a project to improve the community with it. You can almost make projects out of the opportunity instead of looking for funding for the project. So as always, always better to ask and then get a no than never ask at all, right?
absolutely. The worst they can tell you is no.
Exactly.
Best case scenario, you get some money. All right, any other questions for Andrew? All righty, sir. Thank you very much for coming
Yes,
tonight.
thank
We'll
you
let you
very
get out
much.
of here and enjoy your evening.
Thank you as always. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
See you soon.
We'll see you soon. See you around.
All right.
Okay, next is approval of the minutes from June 19th. I'll take a motion to approve.
And will we approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye or raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next on our agenda is approval of the financial reports, the unpaid bills, and the payroll summary. First, I'll take a motion to approve.
I move we
I'll make
approve
the motion.
Second,
either way.
okay.
I'll
well,
second.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
so, I think we're in really good financial, I think that's reflected in our reports. Play out of the usual with our bills, business as usual there. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but, we're getting to the point where it's almost budget season, so, next month, we'll start that discussion. We'll start by setting the dues, proposing a dues rate for next year, and then, build upon that for our budget discussions in August and September, so. We'll be hot and heavy into it shortly, but I think we're in really good shape right now and very optimistic about where we'll be in the next few years as well.
So Patrick, do we need to ask for a budget committee?
In the past, we've done that. I think that'd be
Yeah.
a great idea to start that conversation. We can get something on the calendar.
Okay. And if people are interested, they can email you. We
Sure.
could set up our committee. If you're interested now, you can let Patrick know.
Yeah, in the past, I think it's always been president, vice president, and our secretary or our treasurer, but
Yeah.
if anybody else is interested in seeing how the process works, it's pretty easy. We usually meet once. There's not a whole lot of variation year over year between our budget. We keep it pretty tight. So, if you're interested, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just send an email out to those usual three officers and we'll go from there.
Okay. I must say it's easy reading your financial reports. And I appreciate it. At this point in time, since we have a motion on the floor in a second, all of those in favor of approving the financial reports, the unpaid bills, and the payroll summary, signify by saying aye.
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 Hey, can you guys hear us?
This is Roberta in Avalon. I cannot, after we did the treasurer, talked about the budget committee, I could not, Barbara went out.
I can hear again now. This is Amy.
You guys here?
I can hear you, Patrick, yes.
I just turned off our audio and tried it again, so it looks like we're back to it.
Okay,
You want to start from the beginning?
sure. I'll start from the beginning for those of you online. The reason why I'm bringing up your of it, and it has been a concern as long as I've been on council, which I don't know how long. But I would say over the years, that originally the here being planned and also get something that has recently in Glen Osborne, residents spoke to me about 2 weeks ago about concerns for the year, and it's not really the other health and safety. They talk to their neighbors, did an informal survey and found that a lot of residents have experienced lyme, not only one. And I'm bringing this up because I don't know if it is something that is only in our area, but it certainly is an issue that in relation. If you know that the deer are coming west, but
It looks like they're having some trouble with the audio. Can you guys hear me or what's Julie, what's the audio like? I don't know what the
We
explanation.
can hear, I can hear you, Patrick, but Barbara's like far away. It sounds like she's far away. And we can't make out her words.
Okay, I'm gonna move the owl a little bit closer. That's about as close as I can get with the plug, but just if you could just,
Sure.
I'll try your best.
In summary, again, it is the concern with the deer is, I'll use my teacher voice. Not so much with the health and safety issue brought up by local residents, finding that a lot of residents are either have had or in the process of dealing with Lyme's disease. So it's looking at the deer problem from different eyes. And we were wondering in Glen Osborne if other communities also are having this problem. Years ago, we did have the Game Commission come to our meeting about the deer when we were getting so many deer coming down through the different rivers and crossing over down to the Ohio River. That they were eating plants, they were eating native vegetation, that they were being hit by cars. But this is another concern about the deer bringing ticks and different types of ticks, I think due to climate change in our region. And I was wondering if what they said, the Game Commission said, well, if you call the deer here and not everywhere, the deer will just come to a vacant place. But I was wondering if other communities are facing the same issues or not.
Yes,
Killbuck is?
they're everywhere. They're like rats. Now, City of Pittsburgh has had some pretty successful programs in some of their parks where they do bow hunting. They certify people to go out outside of normal hunting season. And I think their program is you have to donate the first deer to a food bank. Then you can keep all the other ones you shoot after that. But it's been pretty successful. I go to church down in Brighton Heights. And we have a herd of 6 walk through the church parking lot in Brighton Heights every night. So, you know, these are city deer. I can walk up to them, almost pet them. They just don't care. So there are lots hit by cars in the city of Pittsburgh. So it's a problem everywhere.
We have an active hunting program in our borough park, but also on private property.
Yes.
We help coordinate a private club to work with residents to hunt their property. We have larger.
Barbara?
Yes.
I think it got quiet there. Was there someone else talking? Cause I have some feedback about Swickley.
Yeah, go ahead, Joel.
For every once in a while, Barbara, we get complaints from residents about deer. And so we have talked about a culling program before, but have decided against it because of the density of Swickley Borough. Like there's really no good place to do it. And then also the police did not feel that there was really enough, I guess there are a couple of accidents on 65 because of deer being hit in the borough, but it wasn't enough to really justify doing that program. So we have not considered, I mean, we've talked about doing it, but it hasn't been like deeply considered or we haven't been leaning towards it at all.
I think the shift in Glen Osborne is not the accidents, but the health and safety of residents.
Mhm.
With the Lyme's disease, and I think they're doing more research on Lyme's, that it can come back on you and can stay for a long period of time.
Mm.
This is something that's new
Mm-hmm.
and a
I
different,
had also heard it that in Swickley Heights, a lot of property owners in Swickley Heights are not allowing anyone to hunt on their large properties. And so that was contributing to the issue, but you're saying that some people do allow it.
Yeah, there's a subset of residents that allow this private group to hunt. There's also a lot of people who have like their handymen that hunt their property traditionally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there are people against hunting, just like there are everywhere, and they don't allow. So.
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
just-
well, I can see the apprehension, anyone on your property, like,
Sure.
I don't blame them.
Sure.
and in a close community. Again, they were more concerned about the Lyme's disease than the deer.
My grandson had Lyme disease, he's 7. Lives half a block away from me, he got bit by tick. My nephew got bit by tick, he was 4 years old. They both came down with Lyme disease.
You can make these little tick traps out of toilet paper rolls and cotton balls. I think you put the permethrin, you soak them in permethrin, and you throw them in shrubs and things, where ticks kind of burrow in the debris. And I mean, that's one way to control them locally, at a house. I could probably find a fact sheet on it and give it to Patrick, he can send that out,
That would be great.
but that would help.
That would be, that sounds cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do that.
okay, and that's my president's report.
Thanks, Barbara.
Next is the Route 65 update.
Yeah, so just a quick update, the Route 65 committee got together last week on Zoom. We went over basically where we're at right now with the intergovernmental agreement, just citing that at our June managers and secretaries committee, I just discussed the whole agreement. We read it out loud, and I fielded concerns and questions from our managers and secretaries in the region. Some good feedback at that discussion. But right now, actively, our municipalities are going over the agreement. 2 of them have approved the agreement as is, without any changes. So that's Emsworth and Kilbuck. We're still awaiting, we anticipate some feedback regarding some of the language from the communities. But right now, as it currently stands, and again, this could change tomorrow if I get an email from one of our managers and secretaries, but as it stands right now, we have 2 have already approved it, and none have not approved it, but it's just kind of a waiting game. This is gonna be a process, it seems, and that's understandable. Rome wasn't built in a day, but I think looking forward to getting that feedback back from our municipalities, and if we need to, we can relook at the agreement as a committee and then bring it back to the board if we need to change any language. But right now, it's sort of a holding pattern until we get more of that feedback from all the communities.
So I don't have the language right in front of me, if I could speak to our last
Sure.
meeting, our last managers and secretaries meeting, there was kind of a consensus about the one sticking point that we all foresaw coming, and it was the sentence that included funding. Can you bring it up real quick?
Yeah, bro.
I don't wanna misspeak. But it alluded to the future request for funding. And I think we wanted to make it a little more clear that this is not a funding request and there's no obligatory funding acquired. I think that's, we're all foreseeing that as a sticking point for our councils. So, I think that, I know that's our feedback.
Yeah, hi, this is Roberta from Avalon. That was the big sticking point with my council. We've talked about it in a few of our committee meetings in the last couple weeks. And I'm not sure if Lorraine forwarded to you, Patrick, edited version that one of our members did. But we were all wondering if ever in the future you would be asking any of the boroughs for money. And that was a big no from everyone on my council. And Lorraine indicated that that was probably, that had also been an issue with your manager meeting, your monthly manager meeting as well. So, yeah, they need like 100% assurance that basically money's not coming out of Avalon, I guess.
I don't know, I'm assuming everyone can see it. Can you guys see it on Zoom, my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the line that was brought up in the manager's meeting and as Roberta alluded to, and you're right, I did forget that. It's sort of a blur, all the emails, but yes, so there was comment from Avalon with a variety of changes, so I did misspeak. 2 yeses and 1 community came back with some recommendations. But let's just go over the line real quick. It's whereas municipalities are cognizant that there may be financial, time, and other obligations that might be requested in undertaking and carrying out the project. I'll just give you kind of what the committee's feedback and thoughts were when we originally wrote that. Doesn't mean it's going to stay the same here, but you know, say there is no anticipation right now of anything, right? This is just language we put together with the anticipation that maybe a year or 2 from now, there might be a need for a consultant, and maybe we need to pay $1,000, right, as a retainer, and everyone would be asked to chip in $100. Now, I get it, that's vague, and we're probably just going to relook at this and just take that line out completely, because it seems like that's the only sticking point. I asked for feedback about the agreement, and there wasn't anything else that anyone even brings up. So it's like, if this is the only thing that's going to hold us up, it's generic and it doesn't serve a purpose anyhow, really. You know, it was there with the thought that maybe one day everyone pitches in equally $50, $60, but you know what? Let's just probably take it out, right?
Until what we looked at it, that as maybe requested, but we can always say no.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
And that,
Request all you want, but kill what we would probably say, no, you can't have any money.
yeah,
I think
So
the
it's a
essential
request.
thing is that we need this intergovernmental cooperative agreement to move forward with anything with this. Hopes are that PennDOT would be able to pick up with the group, the plan. But as we know, in municipal government, at this point in time, we have, personally, the committee has no idea, nor does it have any reason to ask for financial aid at this point.
Mhm.
So, I do know Glenn Osborne and Aleppo have looked at this and that our solicitors are going to reword it. So I think at this point in time, the committee is just looking for feedback,
Mhm.
even though we have, as a group, accepted this. And feedback's always welcome. It's always
Even
needed.
without the sentence, it doesn't preclude the COG from asking in the future. You don't have to
Right.
state that with that.
Right.
You can always ask.
Yeah.
I think it
Right.
just, it clears up a lot of,
hesitancy.
yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Essential thing that we were looking for is that we all say, yes, we agree that this is a safety issue, that things need to be done, and we have a study already that the COG finance that.
So Patrick, is there, I'm sorry, I just interrupted. Is there any reason to not make the change now?
I don't have any opposition to that if that's what the group sees. If we just want to strike that line and then reapprove it.
But then we would have to reapprove it. I'd rather wait until feedback, Julie. Because I know that Glenn Osborne will be giving you feedback in the beginning of August, which will be our committee meeting. We have not really discussed this formally. And do it once. If,
Well, but wouldn't that require you to do it twice, Barbara? Like if we just strike that and then we have the new version, wouldn't your council just be able to discuss the new version?
they certainly can, but then they would probably, there's something with the wording that our solicitor was not happy with, and since we didn't discuss it, I don't know what that is, and I know that's the same thing with Aleppo.
Okay,
Why take it, and it's not just that line,
okay,
something to do.
that makes sense.
Wording. So why not wait until we're really ready at the next August meeting? It
Okay.
seems to be to propose in front of the group, because we should have all our ducks in line, at least most of them.
Any other thoughts from the group?
Lee Township, that's where they put the brakes on, with that particular area, and I know that they did refer the document on to our solicitor.
You're gonna get a lot of solicitor calls.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be fun trying to put them back.
A lot of whereas coming your way, Patrick.
Patrick, just so you know, Ben Avon voted to approve it last night.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Tammy.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Tavia, and, you know, basically, if we do revise the language, it sounds like that one sentence will probably be revised. I'll just send you guys the new version, and that way you have it on file, and if you choose to re-vote on it, that's okay. I mean, whatever you guys think's best, and I'll defer to your municipality and your solicitor in that front, but it's not gonna be a substantial change. It'll probably just be that sentence. So thank you for approving it, and if there is an update, I'll get you the new one.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
No, I think it's great otherwise.
Hey,
Perfect.
next is our emergency preparedness committee.
Yeah, so last week we also met with our Tri-Boroughs Emergency Response Committee. So members from Glen Osborne, Hayesville, and Glenfield get together every month to talk about really the main discussion point now has been the emergency operations plan. All three communities are looking to update that, as well as sort of shared resources and planning where possible. So we got to meet last week. Two of the three communities represented, so really just focused on those two towns. But again, the main point was it's really the emergency management plan. I'll defer to Barbara and Amy if there's anything they want to add to that from their towns.
I think, once the plan, we hope to put it in front of Glen Osborne in August. I see no problem with the plan at that point in time. What we were looking to gather for the next meeting was more or less information, where to go, where is water storage, where's the safe places? Compiling a list that, all the communities, maybe we could share, but that our representatives, our council representatives would also have that list. So when something happens, it's all organized, who's doing what and where can the citizens go? So that's going to be a while on this.
And eventually can incorporate EPA and county department.
Correct. Yeah, for sure, because they know a lot more about this. But yes. I think it's, for many years, I know, as I've said before, Glen Osborne has attempted to do this, but because we're a small community, we really didn't have anybody that wanted to do the emergency management angle and the commitment that is involved. But I also think that I would love someday in the future to watch the emergency managers get together and really coordinate among. Swiftly Heights is behind us, Lepo is behind us. I mean, we're small communities and we can't possibly have everything needed that they look for in an emergency. And people say the county will come in. Well, if you look at your EOP, the representatives are working with the county, so hopefully everybody is trained and knows what to do, but it would be great just to have the municipalities and emergency managers working together on a overall plan, maybe someday. Not at this time, we're working individually and we have not had a plan, so I'm happy to see that. And working with Hayesville has certainly been helpful. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed last month's meeting, so I don't have much to add for that, but we do have a meeting within Hayesville next week and then the following week to address some of the updates we're making for our plan. So we are also shooting for the next couple of months to finalize our new additions to the plan that we currently have. And of course, sharing that with both, with Glen Osborne and Glenfield.
Very good. Looking forward to continuing those discussions.
Okay, next is the grant status report.
Yeah, as you guys might have noticed, this report just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It was 1 page, now it's 2 pages, now it's almost 4 pages, so. Couple tidbits, we had 2 bid openings last week, one in Hayesville, numbers were pretty much where we expected them to be. So they're gonna be looking to approve that at their next council meeting, I think on July 23rd. We also had a bid opening in Bellevue Borough, that was quite a bit higher than, what the original estimates were. A couple of factors went into that, but, you know, we got together with the borough engineer, the borough manager, and we're gonna be looking to probably put that out to bid again. Gonna be looking to reach out to prospective bidders that downloaded the documents, maybe even asked questions about the project, but didn't bid for whatever the case. And maybe try to revise the scope downwards to maybe get some more realistic pricing for what we did get in the grant award from the county. It's their streetscape along Lincoln Avenue. This is actually the 7th phase, goes back almost 20 years. And this particular batch of funding is 2 years of awards bunched up in one that were originally combined in 2018. So it's been sort of lingering for quite some time, and we finally got it out to bid, but then got hit with a price tag that just is in the realm.
Over was it?
$1 million.
What is like particular project? What is it bid for?
So the bid is that they're looking to completely redo the sidewalks, install benches, lamps. Basically, if you've been there, I think it stops right on the Lincoln Avenue Brewery, but they're trying to extend it throughout their commercial corridor, but it's basically ADA ramps, new sidewalks, new curbs.
They have drains that suck water through the sidewalk. And
Yeah,
take it away.
trees, things like that.
All kinds of like that.
So-
And bump outs.
So yeah, we got $600,000. Well, they have $600,000 through the grant, through the COG, but the one bid we got was $1.6 million. So a little bit of work to do on that front, but we met and just to see what we can do and get this back out. The other project, we have a bid opening tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Glen Osborne. So we already have 2 bid submissions that I've been monitoring through this evening. Hopefully we get a few more, but optimistic on that one. So that's their first grant that I think they've ever got through the county or the COG.
It is, and it's our very first one.
What's that for again?
Sewage.
They're gonna reline some sewer lines, so.
Crack a bottle of champagne.
I know.
Right?
So
They
those,
didn't know what to do.
so those are some of the projects coming to fruition, but now we're gonna talk about future projects, right? So just since I sent the packet out, this information is not in your packet because it was given to me on Friday afternoon and then today actually for the CD information, but so Gaming, Economic Development and Tourism Fund is Andrew Novak from Valerie Gatos's office mentioned earlier. That timeline is going to be opening up from August 19th through August 30th. Now that's when we have to, now again, either you guys as municipalities or going through the COG, that's the window where we can hit submit and enter in the information, right? We can start now. So this is the time to really gather up your ideas. Meet with your engineers. If you guys want to go through the QVCOG, meet with me, get a game plan. These work the same every year. So I send out a Google link. Your managers and secretaries should have that information. And then basically, if you guys have a project in mind, let's get together on a call sometime between now and August 19th. Let's get a head start on this. Again, that window is super, super tight. I'm gonna need everything from, if you do want to utilize the QVCOG to apply, I'm gonna need everything 1 week before the application deadline closes. So basically 4 days after it opens, I need that information. But we have basically a full month until that time. So we know the questions they're gonna ask in the application. It's just a matter of getting that information, getting those photographs, getting those plans, getting as many details as we can. So that way it's just literally a copy and paste job into the application portal at Allegheny County. So brand new news off the press. So again, it's the same project specifications as last year. Economic development projects, right? Projects that promote local economic activities and create or retain jobs. infrastructure development projects, projects that improve or create infrastructure, job training, workforce development projects, probably not gonna be what we're looking at. Community improvement projects, right? Projects that improve or create civic, cultural, or recreational activities. You'll see these are very generically worded, right? They're pretty flexible. Public safety projects, projects that promote the safety of affected communities. Public interest projects, projects that improve the quality of life in affected neighborhoods. And lastly, projects must have a budget of at least $150,000. So again, if there's something you've been looking to do in your community, a little bit of a higher price tag that maybe you just don't have the funding for right now, really good application opportunity here to bring some money into your towns. We've had pretty good success. We had 20 applications last year. We got 5 projects funded. Doesn't sound all that great, but that's pretty good. We almost had $750,000 from those 5 applications last year and money brought into our towns. So want to keep seeing that trajectory go up. By no means do you have to use the QVCOG as your applicant, but I think there is a little bit of an edge. Allegheny County Economic Development, they're built upon the CD program where they work with 7 COGs. They have a very limited pool of employees, right, at the Economic Development Department. They're used to using our channels. We're used to working with them. They'd much rather work with 1 out of 7 COGs rather than 120 municipalities. So it doesn't mean you can't apply on your own. By all means, do that if you need to. But I think there is a little edge to using us. So again, if you have any questions about that program, please reach out. We'll get on a call and have those questions answered. Anything on gaming? All right, on to the next one. So CDBG, so this is our bread and butter, right? This is why the COGs were literally built into existence in the 1980s. This is again, something we do every year. Usually these are gonna revolve around accessibility projects for our public improvements projects, but you can also apply for demolitions, you can also apply for sewer and water. For instance, we're working with the Sewickley Water Authority now to replace lead lines in the Glen Osborne and Hayesville boroughs. We've had demolitions before in Avalon and Bellevue Borough. So this isn't just your average, sidewalk replacement program. It's much more than that too. But those ADA sidewalk programs are probably the most prevalent projects you'll see in this region. So again, the application window is August 12th through September 13th. So they're kind of stacking on top of each other. We have a long window before August 12th, right? So if you anticipate having a project or your engineers do, or your managers and secretaries do, let's go on a call. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page. That way we're not crunched for time, though the window is much bigger for CD than it is for gaming. Deadline to get me the information to submit on time is going to be September 6th. So we have time, but we don't, right? So if you have any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer it. But notification's already been sent out to all your staff. It's kind of an annual thing, so hopefully they're ready to roll and we'll get on those calls and get everything lined up.
Moving on to the executive director's report.
All right, so not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that will be our Hard to Recycle event. And I know I asked for volunteers last month, but I'm getting some heat from our friends in PRC. So anybody on the call that might be interested in helping out this event, not only will be helping out our organization, potentially bringing this event back next year and beyond, but you also can give her $60 worth of electronics totally free. So right now we have 3 volunteers, including myself. We're asked to bring 10. I've been asking every meeting since June, not just here, but our managers, secretaries, or police chiefs. I get it. There's a lot going on in the summertime, but if you have availability from Saturday at 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock and maybe have some junk you want to get rid of, good opportunity to do so. You don't have to give me a yes or no now, but just please consider it. And if you know anybody that might need something to do on that Saturday or has some stuff to get rid of, it's closed. You can't actually sign up for it anymore to dispose of it, but you can volunteer to get rid of the stuff.
The magistrate in Bellevue, she is always assigning public service to people and looking for places to send people to do public service who have, high school kids that were speeding, or my wife gets them all the time to Shepherd's Door where she volunteers. So maybe a call to her telling her this is an opportunity to maybe send some people who need to do community service to knock off some hours might be a way of getting volunteers, air quotes included.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a heated discussion with their coordinator about that today, you know, we're paying for the event, right? It's not
Right.
like we're freeloading and, yeah, he's definitely looking for more volunteers from us and I get it, that's what they do. But I was a little disappointed with his tone too, so, yeah, I could definitely reach out to the magistrate. I think, we might have an uphill battle and, you know, to request this event next year if it's just 3 of us showing up. And the 3 of us that do show up are gonna be really, really busy because I guess they're really leaning on the host communities to have people help out.
What are the times involved for the volunteers?
So the event happens from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So probably about an hour beforehand, figure half hour afterwards too.
Put me down.
Appreciate it, Daryl. And again, if anyone has any questions about that or might have any ideas on who might want to help out, just send me an email. We have some time. I think by Wednesday next week, so about a week from today, will probably be the deadline to get everyone wrangled up. And if you do volunteer, I'll send you all the coordinates as far as where to be, what time, what to wear, things like that. Any questions on the hard to recycle event? And it's good news, it's filled up, like literally it's
Yeah.
sold out already, so. The one thing I'm gonna try to do is gather data on who's actually showing up. You know, how many towns are sending people, you know, where are those towns, who are those people? So hopefully we're able to get that data sooner rather than later. Another big event coming up, next month, cemetery cleanup event. I think I might have mentioned this last month, but it's gonna be on Saturday this week. So their municipal intern through the local government academy, Haley McLean, her project was setting up sort of a database for the cemetery. And Daryl, did you want to add to this?
Yeah, I probably brought it up before, but the Dixmont Cemetery has 1,390 or so graves that are only marked with little concrete things with numbers on them. It's in the woods, just overgrown, trees growing up through them. It is a hot mess. The state gave up any responsibility for it back in 2016, I think. And so the township has picked up responsibility for it, but it is just a mess in the woods. I call it the forest of the forgotten. Because it is just kind of very sad to walk through there and realize there are 1,300 people that died in Dixmont that nobody cares about or remembers. So I kind of came up with this project last fall that we should go in there and clean the place up. And there are fallen trees, there's bushes, and it's a mess. So we have, I think it's closer to 40 or 50 volunteers now that are meeting this Saturday. Should only take a couple hours and we have that many people. And we're gonna go and cut underbrush, rake it out, clean it up as best we can. And then I'm gonna try to encourage maybe, you know, a Boy Scout looking for an Eagle project to maybe take on project and be fencing the place about an acre, fencing it or doing something more permanent to make it look more like a cemetery than a forest of dead people. So that's this Saturday.
It's a wonderful project.
Yeah.
It really is.
Have you contacted, yeah.
I don't think Haley has, I don't think she has. Yeah, that might be yeah. I'll email her and ask her.
Good,
That might be someone doing. It's
good press for Killbuck and local government
Yeah.
academy there.
Certainly will be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not that we need media, I mean, not normally a media fan, but yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually,
yeah.
so. That's it.
Daryl, this is Roberta from Avalon. I don't have the flyer in front of me. Do volunteers need to bring like rakes and gloves and stuff like that? Is it on the flyer if I send it to some people?
You don't have to, but you want your own tools.
Okay.
Since we're dying so much, we stop exploring. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys just cut out on me again. I don't know if everyone else is hearing you.
Hold on, I have an idea here. I'm gonna turn off my video. Maybe there's like a bandwidth thing. Can you guys hear me? No?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn the video off for the owl. Maybe that's part of the reason there's too much bandwidth taken up.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool project, really excited to see how that works out. A couple other things I wanted to highlight before we wrap up the report. Avalon Borough had a confined spaces training today, so a handful of communities got together for their public works departments. That was put on by municipal risk management. Again, really good job to see everyone work together and share resources there. I think I brought this up last month, but again, I just wanted to highlight it again. The 2024 International City Management Association Conference, right? So ICMA. Most managers and secretaries in the region are probably paid dues to be part of it. This is a worldwide event, right? And it's going to be here in the city of Pittsburgh in September. So September 21st through the 25th. Kind of picture your Allegheny League of Municipalities, your Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs or Townships conferences on steroids, right? This is going to be sessions ranging anything you could think of in municipal government, and people travel literally from all over the world and all over the country. And this year it's going to be here. So really cool spotlight on the region. I did sign up for it, so I'll be going to it. And again, it's amazing how many different courses they're going to offer. It's like, every time slot has 25 different options that you can pick from, right? And it's going to be at the convention center. But I went to one of these before, Nashville in 2019. Really cool experience. Again, you meet people from all across the world, and really great to see the spotlight on our region here too. So if you see extra traffic in the third weekend in September, probably explains it. Last thing I'll talk about, we'll skip in the report, we'll bring it up next.
Okay, the cameras.
Yep. So last year we got an award through the Pennsylvania Keystone Communities Program. So it's a program administered through Department of Commercial and Economic Development, and it was $100,000 in total. And the idea was to bring regional police equipment to multiple departments. So we were the vessel that they did that through. So it was a brave new role. I'm not a police officer and I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but I learned a lot over the last few months trying to put this all together. So we put out, we looked for quotes from certified vendors for automated license plate reader cameras. And if you ask any of your police chiefs and police officers in your departments, they'll point and say, this technology is invaluable. It's how they catch the bad guys. It's how they solve cases that they just couldn't solve 10 or 15 years ago. So what we did is we sought the vendors. There's about 5 vendors that really do this kind of work. They need to be specialized and approved through the Plate Smart network, which more or less is the network of all these cameras being connected and talking to each other. So when one car drives past one of the camera setups, everyone that's connected in this network gets notification that the car you're looking for is over in Bellevue, or the car you're looking for is over in Swiftly. So two-pronged approach to this. And again, I'll do my best to explain because I'm not an expert by any means. But we got a grant to share this equipment, and we got 5 quotes. The lowest quote was through the surveillance group in the amount of $69,535. This is going to cover 5 intersections in 4 of our towns. So 1 camera will be in Avalon Borough at Route 65 and Elizabeth Avenue. 1 camera will be in Bellevue Borough, North Balfour Avenue and Lincoln Avenue. 1 camera is going to be really at the intersection of like 4 of our towns. River Road and Route 65, technically that is in Glen Osborne Borough, that it also borders Hayesville, and it's administered by the Swiftly Borough Police Department, and Aleppo Township kind of lines up right there too. Leedsdale has 2, 1 at Cross Street and Beaver Street, and 1 at Broad Street and First Street, but that might be moved down like 1 block. But so that lowest quote, again, is from the surveillance group. I'll share my screen here. Hopefully the audio keeps up. But in the packet, you'll be able to see all of the different pricing, the locations of this. So that quote is obviously $30,000 less than our grant award. So I was thinking with our police chiefs group, and all this went through them over the basically last year. we thought, how can we spread a little bit of this money to all the police departments? So I referred to that Plate Smart network earlier, and an annual subscription to Plate Smart is about $3,000, give or take. So what we're gonna do is provide 1 year of service to Plate Smart to communities that don't have it and those that already have it to begin with. So if they had a 3-year contract for Plate Smart, let's say it's Sewickley Boroughs Police Department, they're gonna get a year tacked on there for free. Say, Bell Acres, right? They don't have Plate Smart's access right now. They're gonna get 1 year for free. What they do with it after that is up to them. They could sign on if they wanna keep it, you know, even if they don't have cameras and they just wanna have access to that network with all the other police departments, or they can let it lapse, totally up to them. But it's just a way for us to spread out a little bit of the grant funding to all the police departments, right? Including Ohio Township, who administers 4 of our municipalities. So, what we're looking to do tonight is just approve the lowest, responsible quote through the surveillance group, in the amount of $69,535. And then the remaining balance to the Plate Smart in the quotes here. And, the remaining balance to Plate Smart, look at there, just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going.
Can I make one suggestion, Pastor?
Yes, sir.
Reserve that 30,000 until that other project is like off the ground. Cause we just went through with Motorola with some LPRs and there's a lot of issues. I think that need to be worked out with these, with the actual equipment. So you don't want, my point is you don't want to see an additional charge for things that they couldn't foresee. And then you're out $30,000.
No, understood. Understood. And we're gonna have a little wiggle room here. Let me get down to the quote for Plate Smart. The Plate Smart quote is $24,200, so we have about $6,000 as a gap. So I do, and you know, in that case where they need to install another pole in Bellevue for this equipment, so we do have a little wiggle room. And this is gonna be the last thing we add to it. We're not gonna spend any of this Plate Smart money until these projects are done with the actual installation and equipment.
Okay.
But just more or less approving these quotes, that way we can get the ball rolling here and get everyone signed up. There's a third part to this, and that is the host communities are signing on agreements as we speak. So Avalon, Bellevue, Leedsdale, and Glen Osborne all have agreements to act as hosts. Basically, like, we're getting this equipment for them for free. It's being installed for free, but it's theirs. We don't want to own it. It's theirs, and it's gonna be up to them to maintain it and pay for those legacy costs that are associated with it, i.e. the Plate Smart network, right? So the cameras are great and you can look at cameras, but you're not gonna be connected unless you pay for that annual subscription through Plate Smart. And in some cases, you need to have internet hooked up to these, right? They might be able to use wireless hotspots from local businesses, and that's typically what they try to do, the police departments that have these. But let's say you might have to have a hardwired internet connection. That might be $2,300 a year. So the agreements say the municipality is responsible for procuring those quotes and paying for the legacy costs. That's not ours. Like, we're just sort of the vessel to exchange this money. And yeah, that's kind of the summary of the automated license plate reader cameras. So learned a lot. And I'd be happy to answer any questions as best I can.
I think it's a great outcome of the police committee that we now are doing the same thing. Especially the safety, you know, we talk about the safety of Route 65 and it is a river of not criminals, but it is easier to see it. Certainly, I know at the Hazel Light that there are accidents there, that it's very difficult to, after it happens, there's no picture of what happens, there's nothing. But I do notice in police reports that they do follow people, the police are able to follow people.
Yeah.
And it's a great tool.
Yep.
I think it's a great tool.
And it strictly captures license plates.
Yeah.
It's not looking to capture your face or anything like that. You know, in the still shots, they might be able to pick up that it's like a Toyota Corolla, but you know, the license plate cameras are technology and aimed to strictly pick up license plates to go into the data pool. And that helps them connect and sync to see where those cars are going.
Well, you can see how legally that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on any other discussion about this or?
Just real quick, I want to highlight, another thing to do with our police chiefs group that, just came to my mind. So we're gonna be taking a tour of the FBI's CJIS, it's the Criminal Jurisdiction Information Systems Network in Clarksburg, West Virginia. And this was one of the recommendations of Chief Sentner from Bellevue. I guess he took this tour a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago now. And I was asked to maybe get a group tour for all of our police chiefs and all of our police departments. It's not just police chiefs that are invited to go down, but really it's just like the epicenter of our country's law enforcement network. And it's like all these little certifications and software programs and trainings that all these guys and girls do. They're all networked out of this area owned by the FBI in West Virginia. So I got approvals for us to go on October 4th. So I sent that out to the group, and hopefully they're gonna be distributing that to their police departments. And, you know, obviously it's a lot to ask for everyone to drop what they're doing for a full day to drive 3 hours there and 3 hours back and have an all-day course. But those that are willing and able and have officers that are interested, they're invited. So that was just approved today, so looking forward to that.
Okay, great.
Are you gonna be blindfolded the whole time?
I did sign up. It sounded cool. Like I was like, all right, why not? You know, so I did have to fill out a form as a civilian. The officers all have to do that, but I had to fill some out. But yeah, it seems interesting.
Oh, it sounds.
It does sound interesting. Okay, next is the reception.
Yeah, so we did launch a intergovernmental reception committee, and this is basically our annual dinner that we've done for years and years and years. We're looking to reinvent it. It's gonna be outdoors, August 28th, same place we've had it since I took over this role, the Edgeworth Club. So they've been great to work with, but we're gonna be shifting it outdoors, having a little less formal, and you know, more finger foods, more social mingling, a little less formality. It's kind of trying to capture that first hour of the event from past years where everyone's getting to know each other, hanging out, talking about what's new in the towns. Just, we don't always get a chance to see each other face to face, and this is really the goal of the event. So the committee is going to be meeting for the first time next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Just going to go over the event, kind of finalize some of those details, talk about getting some more sponsors. Like we have our routine 7 or 8 sponsors that always sponsor the event. But how can we build upon that? Because again, it is a fundraiser. It's not just,
Right.
you know, it's a great chance to intermingle with everyone, but we do raise a couple $1,000s into our general fund off of it. We always recognize 1 or 2 public officials or staff members in our towns. So if you have any ideas of secretaries, managers, public works directors, police chiefs, elected officials, somebody that might be retiring, you know, throw their name in the ring. You know, 1 or 2 is ideal. We're not going to pick one or the other. We'll just recognize all we get. Usually we get 1 or 2. Let me know if you have any ideas in that front. But yeah, I'm really just gonna work with the committee to see what we can do to build upon previous efforts and really finalize the details of this new format of the event.
Okay. Any other discussion about the, no? Okay. It is time for concerns and topics.
We'll try the camera again, and if anyone can't hear me on Zoom, please let me know. I'll turn off the camera again. But let's just go down real quick through the list. Avalon, what's new with you, Roberta?
Let's see, we have the 5K event here in Avalon and Bellevue moving forward. It is on August 10th. If anyone wants to sign up, there's a 1 mile walk, or you can do the run. And I believe the Northgate Cross Country puts it on. It's a fundraiser for the North Hills Community Outreach, which is our food bank and everything like that here for the 15202 area. If anyone would like to do that. Oh, I had a question about the hard to recycle event. Can children volunteer? Like my 12-year-old, I'll tell him.
Well, that might be borderline. So like they're gonna be asked to literally like unload TVs, and I mean I don't know. I don't want to say that they can't, but it's gonna be something like where the volunteers are gonna be asked to like direct traffic and help unload things, and I'm not sure I mean, I don't know, probably not, to be honest.
Okay, I was just thinking, because I want us to have the numbers, so they don't give us pushback about handling or having it next year. So,
Understood. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, but yeah, I think that might be just 1 or 2 years off, to be honest.
okay, and I think that's it, actually. I have a quite a mess here in my notes, but I think that was really the only thing. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, our mayor, Bridget Jackson, she just attended, I forget the actual title of the class she did, but it was basically like a pastor minister training. It was a 3-day training, and now she can administer to, say, the police and the firemen and et cetera. And she said that she was one of the first elected officials to actually attend the class with everyone that was there. I guess it was a bunch of, it was more pastors and ministers and et cetera, but she's very involved in her church. And so this was really right up her alley. So if anyone else in the public realm wants to do that, so you can help out your police and firemen, and just something to throw out there.
Do you have the information on that, Roberta?
I will get it from Bridget. She really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I forget, we didn't vote on the surveillance group awarding that project to them.
Oh. I'll
Oh.
take. What? Sorry, Roberta.
That was my fault.
Oh, no, I'm done.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the surveillance cameras.
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Passed.
Thank you, perfect. All right, let's see, Dan, what's new in Bellevue?
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. So we recently reopened our tennis courts up at Bellevue Memorial Park. We had them resurfaced and repainted. We now have got, some new netting, so new tennis courts. We added on pickleball lines as well, since that's becoming more popular. Working on our Bird Town certification. I don't know if anybody else has seen that in the news lately, but I know Jenny Denton, a fellow councilwoman, has pushed for us becoming a bird town, so we're working on that. And then National Night Out, we're planning for that on Tuesday, August 6th. So that's a couple things that we're working on. And Patrick, like you had mentioned, streetscapes, we're a little disappointed in that super high bid, but we're going to see what we can do to use that grant money.
Very good. Love to hear about that Bird Town too. That was the big hit at Alon this year in the spring. Everyone raved about that class about how to become a bird town. So very cool to see one of our communities doing it.
Yep.
Did we put something about that on our website in case communities are interested?
Sure, Dan, would you mind forwarding me, if there's an article you guys have about that or any information on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll forward that over to you.
Very good, thanks.
Patrick, sorry, we also did the Bird Town, because I know Beth Mosley went to the ALOM convention as well with Jenny. And so we do have our certification, and we're doing a project with the Girl Scouts in our community garden. But when Bellevue gets certified, we're hoping to work together and do some cross-borough projects. So.
Oh, great.
Very good.
Great.
It sounds like we have the opportunity to become a bird cog.
I was going to say, what does it take to be a bird town? It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's through the Audubon Society.
Is it? I'm sure there's requirements, but if we could have information on our website.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not hard. It's just a bunch of paperwork. And then at some point, the gentleman from the Audubon Society is either, maybe he already came to Bellevue, Dan, but he's supposed to come and speak and tell everyone more about it. But yeah, it seems really cool. I was also thinking that we could be the COG Bird Town.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great.
All right.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you, Patrick.
Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Tavia, what's new in Ben Avon?
I don't think we have anything new this month.
Very good.
Tavia, may I ask something that was raised in Ben Avon last month, which was about working with the GPS mapping developers to reroute traffic around. Have you done that? Has that worked?
I don't know if I've heard anything about that.
Yeah, I think it was something
Reroute
Rick-
them in Abbott?
Yeah, Rick brought it up at the last meeting and I'm just wondering, how's it going? Do you have success?
No problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of that. Maybe I missed that because maybe it was
I-
something he was looking into. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just know that Glen Osborne Borough on Sycamore Road, which is a switchback. We had a semi truck stuck last month that we had to really pull apart and take out. But it was the GIS map that we were hoping to change because they routed this truck down Sycamore Road, one of the most dangerous roads in our municipality.
It's probably part of we're having some issues with a tight street with a lot of kids on it, and the neighbors are wanting traffic to be rerouted away from there if possible. So maybe that's one of the ways they're attempting to do that. I know they're looking at a traffic study and some other things to see about how to make it safer. So maybe that was one of the suggestions, but I don't know that that's been done yet that I'm aware of, but maybe I missed that.
Well, thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I was interested.
It's possible. I mean, I haven't heard it talked about at the meetings. Maybe it's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could be.
We'd be very interested in that as well, because we have similar roads where being able to change what the suggested routes are would be,
ask about it.
yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Barbara, what's new in Glen Osborne?
In Glen Osborne, we're attempting to pass a parking ordinance. This is our fourth attempt and it has been delayed until September. It's interesting. There were things put in for restricted parking or resident only parking in Glen Osborne, but the trick is we have no administration that can enforce that. And we also have narrow roads in our municipality that is difficult for the police, the fire trucks to get down and the ambulances to get down. So we're looking at our roadways and parking.
Very good. Amy, what's new in Hayesville?
Not too much. I mean, we're gearing up for execution of our project for the Upper River Road, which we received the grant for, which we already talked about a little bit. Our South Avenue road repair, which is Swickley water related. So they're going to tear up that road. And of course it is a one-way in and one-way out road. So that's going to provide a little bit of coordination and infrastructure issue because all of the residents, well, you know, they won't be able to access their homes during the daytime. So those are our two. It feels like we have a lot of road work coming up, but that's a good thing. We're excited about both projects. And then I guess just the emergency management pieces, just trying to finish that out and make progress this year so that we can feel like it isn't an ongoing lingering issue as it so often is. And then just a quick follow-up question, Roberta. You mentioned that walk, and I didn't capture in my notes what the name of it was. Can you tell me again, please? Or did anybody else get what the name was? I got August 10th, but I didn't get the name of it.
I believe it's the North Boroughs 5K.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And that's it for me.
Perfect. Daryl, what's new in Kilbuck?
Absolutely nothing.
All right, I like it. Lee Township, Donna.
Well, we awarded the park project to El Grande. So they're going to kick that off any day now. And it's it's a $300,000 grant. And we're like beyond excited to get this going.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, I got a chance to tour that site with the engineering team and Betsy and someone from El Grande 2 weeks ago. So it'll be great. Pickleball lines and
Yeah.
new basketball hoops, new fencing, all that good stuff. So, yep, very good. Let's see, Julie, what's new in Sewickley?
We have a bunch of park improvements, but I would say the most visible one is in front of the Lindsay Theater. It's been just a blank lawn of grass since the theater went in, and the theater had to be built back from the road because Hoey's Run, an underground creek, runs right there where the grass is, and so they could not build a building on top of that. So there have been lots of different proposals over the years, I think, but the borough finally got around to just making it happen. So it's under construction now. It should be done by like probably late August. So we'll look forward to having that as like a new public space for people to hang out in and there on Walnut Street.
Very good. All right. Last but not least, Nate, what's new in the Heights?
Got some road resurfacing going on this week, and I'm dealing with our landslides. It will be a long process.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Anybody I forgot or anything else anyone wants to bring to the group's attention?
Okay, I'll take a motion. Seeing there is no one, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming on this beautiful summer.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. And I'll see if I can work out those audio issues with the owl. I'll have to have a word with the owl after the meeting. My apologies for that.
Normally it's
Thank
always
you.
good. So this is the first time, I will say. Normally the audio is great. So
I swear to God, every week I say I'm going to make it in person, and every month then I get distracted. So I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
And we all.
All right.
We'll see everybody in
thank
August.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.